He's going to be processed, they're going to fingerprint him, ask him questions, and there's a whole process that goes into place before anyone is deported back, including seeing a judge.
I have not seen CNN cover who some of those individuals are. An individual from Ecuador, he murdered his 3-month-old son. An individual who's perpetuating human slavery and human trafficking, child pedophiles. Why does the media not talk about that?
Have you ever watched a news report and gotten a weird sense of deja vu? Not just the feeling that you've heard the story before, but that you remember it being told in a completely different way. The same facts, same events, but a totally different narrative. Today, we're looking at one of the most glaring examples. In 2016, under one presidential administration, CNN presented ICE raids as necessary police work. Then, just a couple of years later, under a different administration, the exact same kinds of operations were being framed as terrifying government overreach. The tactics didn't change, the laws didn't change, so what did? To really get this, we have to go back to a specific CNN report from May 31st, 2016 with Barack Obama in the White House. It was an exclusive titled "A Day with ICE in the Sanctuary City of Chicago." A reporter, Pamela Brown, was given incredible access. She put on a bulletproof vest and rode along with an enforcement team on pre-dawn raids. Her opening lines says it all.
Just before the sun rises in the Windy City, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents fan out across Chicago to arrest criminals in the U.S. illegally.
The frame is set right away. These are cops going after bad guys.
Narcotics trafficking. He's also been arrested for DUI. We also may be attempting to criminally prosecute this individual because he was previously removed from the country, which is a federal felony.
The piece stays locked on the criminal histories of the people being arrested for offenses like domestic violence and DUIs. The report even platformed ICE's political frustrations with Chicago's sanctuary city policies. There was no real counter-argument offered, just a direct broadcast of ICE's point of view. Even when agents burst into a home and arrested the wrong guy, the target's brother, the coverage was forgiving.
ICE agents mistakenly arrest the target's brother.
In the process of talking to him in the vehicle, he then said, "Oh no, I'm actually so-and-so. Who you're looking for is over here, this other address." He led us to that address and we were able to actually arrest the individual we were looking for.
A major screw-up is framed as an understandable part of a complicated job. The agents were described as very professional and respectful. The message from the 2016 report was crystal clear. ICE agents are the good guys, doing a tough but vital job to get dangerous people off the streets. As one person later put it, CNN wasn't criticizing ICE, they were celebrating them. So what happened between that glowing report in 2016 and the horrified coverage that came later? The answer is simple. A presidential election. In January 2017, Donald Trump was inaugurated and immigration became the central, most polarizing issue of the new administration. The Obama administration had already deported a record number of people, earning him the name Deporter-in-Chief. And the media's entire attitude seemed to flip right along with the political shift. As Curtis Hoke, an editor for the media watchdog group Newsbusters, put it bluntly, CNN coverage of ICE today is simple. It's party ID of who is in the White House. He argued that with Obama in office, ICE was seen as part of their team, but after 2017, that benefit of the doubt vanished. The change was a complete 180-degree flip. The focus was no longer on criminal records, but on the trauma inflicted on children. The term "kids in cages" became a constant refrain. When ICE conducted massive raids in Mississippi in 2019, CNN's reports focused on children coming home from their first day of school to find their parents gone. One girl cried on camera.
"I need my dad for me. My dad didn't do nothing. He's not a criminal."
This was a world away from the 2016 report. On-air commentary became openly hostile, with panelists debating if ICE tactics were unethical and anti-American. The language was no longer neutral. It was loaded with moral judgment. The network that once offered a ride-along was now reporting on an app designed to help people avoid ICE agents. The network was no longer just a neutral observer. So let's break it down. What actually changed on the ground? Did ICE stop doing pre-dawn raids? No. That was the main tactic in the 2016 report, and it continued. Did they stop focusing on arresting people with criminal records? No. While priorities shifted, targeting those with criminal histories was still a stated goal for the agency under both administrations. Was large-scale deportation a new thing? Not at all. The Obama administration deported around 3 million people, hitting a peak of over 409,000 in a single year, a number that surpassed most years under the Trump administration. The core operations of ICE didn't radically change. The story changed. The camera angle changed. At 2016, the camera was pointed at the criminal in handcuffs. The story was about the threat he posed. Post-2017, the camera panned down. It focused on the frightened family left behind. It zoomed in on the crying child. The story was about the human cost of the exact same action. The subject of the 2016 story was the criminal. The subject of the new story was the victim. The language changed from law enforcement terms like fugitives and targets to the emotional language of advocacy, terror, family separation, inhumane, a narrative about protecting families from a predatory government. In 2016, CNN produced a report praising the professionalism of ICE agents as they arrested criminals. A few years later, the same network was framing those actions as unethical and terror-inducing. The fundamental duties of the agency had not been rewritten. Pre-dawn raids, targeted arrests, and deportations were a part of immigration enforcement under both President Obama and President Trump. The single biggest variable that's changed was the person in the White House. With that change, the media narrative did a complete 180. The story of civic duty became a story of human tragedy. It's a powerful reminder that how a story is told is just as important as the facts themselves. The frame, the language, and the lens an outlet uses can completely change our perception of what's real. So next time you're watching the news, it's worth asking, are you seeing the whole picture, or are you just seeing the story they want you to see? If you think it's important to question the narratives we're handed, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that cuts through the noise. We want to hear from you in the comments. Do you remember this shift in media coverage, and what do you think is the real reason for these narrative changes? We read every single comment. Thanks for watching.
CrossroadsIRL.com